Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program Capital Beat. Six Lok Sabha MPs from the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray faction have reportedly broken away to form an independent group. Now, this is a shock which is coming just before the 60th foundation day of the Shiv Sena. Now, the splinter group, I'm told, has submitted a letter to Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla in New Delhi. They are expected to merge with the rival Shiv Sena led by Chief by Eknath Shinde on June 19th. That is coinciding with the party's foundation day. So all this is very well calibrated. Now, if the merger proceeds, Shinde's faction will see its parliamentary strength grow to 13 MPs, consolidating its position in the NDA. Now, the six MPs reportedly involved are, now here is the list of the names: Sanjay Jadhav from Parbhani, Bau Sahab Wakchure, who's from Shirdi, Sanjay Deshmukh from Yavatmal, Nagesh Patil Ashtikar from Hingoli, Om Raje Nimbalkar, Dharashiv, Sanjay Patil, Mumbai Northeast. Now, what we are told is that Uddhav Thackeray is holding the parliamentary meeting tomorrow of the MPs at around 11 a.m. But the big question is that can Uddhav save his flock? Because what we have seen happening in Bengal, are we going to see a repeat in Maharashtra? And especially, will Uddhav Thackeray be the next Mamta Banerjee? And what is coming more as far as the developments concerned? Om Prakash Rajbhar, who happens to be a minister, what has he tweeted this afternoon? I don't know how much to believe on what Om Prakash Rajbhar has said, but here is a tweet which says that a major split is going to happen in the Samajwadi Party. Ram Gopal Yadav has submitted a letter to Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Everyone in Uttar Pradesh knows who the mastermind behind the mining scam and Gomti riverfront scam is. As the news tightens, the SP is getting anxious. Forget Maharashtra and Bengal, the entire SP is sitting ready to join the BJP. Just a short while back, in fact, Ram Gopal Yadav has denied all this. He said not to believe what Om Prakash Rajbhar has said. But coming to the Maharashtra question and what is going to happen to Uddhav Thackeray, and just a short while back, in fact, a few hours back, Sanjay Raut had held a press conference and he has raised a number of allegations that 50 crores has been decided to pay to each MP. 15 crore is the advance amount which has gone to these MPs, plus they've come via a chartered plane to New Delhi. And this is what he said in the press conference. Let's listen to what Sanjay Raut said.
कि ये सब लोग शिवसेना पार्टी के मशाल चिन्ह के ऊपर चुनकर आए हैं। हाँ, उद्धव बाला साहब ठाकरे ये पार्टी है, मोदी जी के चेहरे पर नहीं या शिंदे जी के चेहरे पर नहीं चुनकर आए हैं। ये उद्धव बाला साहब ठाकरे जी और बाला साहब ठाकरे जी के चेहरे पर लोगों ने उनको वोट दिया है। अगर कोई बेईमानी करता है तो याद रखिए 15-15 करोड़ कल रात को दिया, पैसा पहुंच गया, ऐसा मुझे इन्फॉर्मेशन है। और बाद में चार्टर फ्लैट में बैठे, पहले पैसा हाथ में दे दो, वो पैसा लिया है लोगों ने।
So this is what he's saying, that he has some credible piece of information that money has been given to the MPs, but 9 out of 6 MPs reportedly are joining the Shinde group. And as I told you, that the numbers now on the Shinde side will increase to 12 MPs. Now, was this coming? Did the people have an idea as far as the people in Mumbai and Maharashtra are concerned? Joining me this evening is Yogesh Pawar, senior journalist from Mumbai, joins us. Thank you so much, Yogesh, for joining. We have political editor of the Federal, Puneet Nicholas Yadav, also with us. Thank you so much, Puneet, for joining. And let me go to Yogesh. Yogesh, did you have an idea of something like this was coming up? Because few people I spoke to in the morning, and they were saying that, say, for example, the MP from Nashik already had started discussing with people that, they were being promised a lot of money for switching the allegiance. Did you also hear things like that?
Well, right from 2022, when the Shiv Sena actually split up and Eknath Shinde was then given the election symbol, which is the roaring tiger, and the Uddhav Thackeray faction had to settle down with the torch. I just feel that from then itself, there has always been this kind of a machination which has been put into place, and repeatedly these kind of rumors kept on doing the rounds that now it's only a matter of, it's not whether, but it's a matter of when that people will desert Uddhav Thackeray. But I'm just saying that there is also the sort of a the momentum to this kind of rumors only began much more strongly last week when people began saying that it is now imminent, it will happen. And even then, when I remember reaching out to some of the leaders in the UBT section, they told me that no, it's just a rumor. They tried to quell it, saying that it's not true. But then, like we've seen that and what was being said until yesterday was being called a rumor has now turned out to be a reality. It seems that things are headed in this way, and they will see a big rout in the parliament, particularly where they will stand to lose a lot of MPs. And the Eknath Shinde faction is going to emerge stronger. And that claim that they were making all the time, that they are the legitimate legatees to Bal Thakaray's legacy, will now gather further credence. Whether it is true or not is another thing, because now we live in a world of post-truth, of course. But nevertheless, it will gain a lot more strength because of this development. Nilu?
Also, there were reports, and I found some people writing on the social media, Yogesh, that apparently Uddhav Thackeray was trying to reach out to these MPs through some industrialist, and who has promised him that the MPs will not switch allegiance, they will not cross over. Are there? I mean, is there any credibility to reports like these? Because I found a lot of people writing on the social media.
Well, there have been the Shiv Sena, right from the time of Bal Thakaray's times, is not completely immune to the idea of hobnobbing with top corporates, and who have then gotten benefits. And sometimes it's worked like a quid pro quo as well. You will recall that long ago, when Bal Thackeray was still alive, that Parvez Damania had contested from the Shirdi constituency, and of course, so this has continuously been the case. But I do not think anything can match the kind of might and worth that the other side is sort of dependent on. If you look at the uh, essentially the party that is pulling the strings behind this Eknath Shinde faction's moves is backed by one of the richest men on in the world today, one of the biggest a corporate who's what is got an finger in every pie, as
I just want
one
to
would say.
interrupt you for a
So
moment.
that I feel is no, there's no match. So there
Yeah,
will be
Yogesh.
definitely yes.
Yeah, I just want to interrupt you for a moment. I'll come back to you again. Now, look at this PTI tweet. It talks about Operation Tiger. And there are posters which are put up of Operation Tiger, Shiv Sena. And what does it say? Just wait and watch. Banners put up across key locations in the city. Shiv Sena UBT has issued a whip to its MPs to attend a meeting in New Delhi to discuss important issues amid the speculation of an imminent rebellion in the Uddhav Thackeray led party, sources said on Wednesday. The party can initiate disqualification proceedings against those who skip the meeting. Now, I'll come to the disqualification bit a little later. But Yogesh, what I want to understand from you, that these are the very MPs who did not switch allegiance when the rebellion happened a few years ago. Now, what has triggered the split again, and why have these MPs now agreed? Because several reports say that these MPs were not happy. Uddhav Thackeray was not going to the field. He wasn't coming to the constituency. There was a crunch for funding. So, which is why these leaders have thought of crossing over. How true are these reports? I mean, the
Well,
basic reason why this fresh rebellion in the party.
instead of calling it a rebellion, this is a way. I mean, one will have to word it as calling it. What is this fresh wave of trying to uproot people from the Uddhav Bal Thackeray? That is what one should call it, because what I've heard is that in 2022 itself, there was an attempt at trying to dig dirt on all the people who went with the Eknath Shinde faction and find out all their dirty secrets, so that the ED and the CBI and all these enforcement agencies could lean on them, tell them that they will land in trouble, and which is why, including my own MP, you will notice that they all move towards the Eknath Shinde faction. But in these many years since 2022, I don't think the enforcement agencies have really gone easy on that. That has been an ongoing thing. After particularly what happened with the TMC, I think after tasting blood there is this renewed vigor with which this was pursued, and it's come to fruition, as one would call it. And you will see that people have been able to be pressurized to get. So the choice that they will be left with is either to sort of switch allegiance, or then face the music, or be willing to go behind bars and suffer the consequences. And in these instances, where as and when people have in the past done this, you will notice that the process itself is punishment, because sometimes these cases drag on for decades together. And it is sort of a the whole idea of how they've been encircled. The Uddhav Thackeray faction has been encircled. If you remember what happened with the assembly itself, when they were reduced to a minority, and how the speaker's post was changed suddenly. In that instance, also, if you notice that it took very long for the ruling to come, but by then it was pointless, because the other government, the other speaker had come into power. He was already in position, and things couldn't go back to what it was. So though the court said yes, what happened was unfair, it did not say that it needs to be reversed. So I mean, that is the kind of logic that
Yogesh, are you
seems to
aware
be
of
working here too.
Yogesh, are you aware of any pressure on these MPs? Because what social media is saying, and again, I don't know how far that's true, but there are reports that apparently these MPs were told that if they need money for the constituency, for their constituency, they need to switch allegiance. How far is that true?
Um, there will be. I mean, the idea that if you notice that this has been a continuous pattern, states which have not voted in favor of the BJP have seen states have complained. So I'm sure this is the same template which is being used. States have also complained that they have not got what is their due in the national uh, GDP, what they should be getting. That is not being sent their way. So they are being punished for not having voted the BJP. Similarly, that same template is being used here, saying that all these MPs will not have enough funds at their disposal to do work in their area. And if works don't happen, or then it means that there is not enough liquidity in their hands, and also it means that their voters, their constituencies get disaffected. So then it works both ways. So, and it is true. I will tell you for a fact that there are a lot of dirty secrets that most of these people in public life carry. And one particular um, MP who I know is there was also like a whole dossier made on him and his links with one of whom who has defected this time. There is the whole dossier made on him and his links with a Lavni artist, a Tamasha artist. So because of that, then the scandal that will erupt because that is what could have they made him decide in this way. So I'm just saying that it can be any kind of dirty secret. It's not necessarily financial irregularities or cooked up financial irregularities, one might call them that, or any other kind of legal imbroglio. It can also be the fact that they got some personal secrets, and those are used to pressurize these people and arm twist them into accepting the quote unquote offer being made.
Right. Right. So, I mean, yeah, there could be pressure as well. But coming to Puneet now, Puneet, what do you feel is the larger picture here? We see Bengal. Now, the brazenness, the speed, the scale at which this kind of a coup is happening, and wouldn't you call it a coup? It's not even like a normal split. It's like just attacking on the party. It's like it just seems that the political parties are almost on sale. What do you have to say? I mean, there would be some intention, there would be some idea in BJP's mind. Is it only to get the two-thirds majority in parliament? And many have started cracking the joke that even before 2029 elections, it seems BJP will go 400 par. What does it look like, the larger picture?
Well, we know what the immediate trigger is, Neelu, because there has been talk that the monsoon session, which will begin around the 20th of July, the government wants to make another bid for getting the constitution amendment passed for restructuring and reconfiguring the Lok Sabha, coupled with delimitation and also the rollout of women's reservation. Now, we know that in April, on the 17th of April, the 131st Amendment Bill, the Constitution 131st Amendment Bill was defeated. The government was only able to get 298 votes, which was far short of the two-thirds majority mark, which as of today is 360, because you have 3 vacancies in the Lok Sabha. So 360 is the current two-thirds majority mark. With, if you go by the numbers that the government had got on the 17th of April, because in Parliament there hasn't really been any by-election or any other situation that would have changed those figures. So that number till last week or till 2 weeks back stood still at 298. That is 293 of the NDA and 5 independents. 5 out of the 7 independents who had won in 2024. Now, add to that 20 MPs of the Trinamool who have rebelled. The number goes up to 318. And now 6 of these from the Shiv Sena. Now that figure, of course, some are saying 6, some are saying 7. We'll have to wait and see how many exactly eventually do sign on that dotted line and defect.
You hear, Puneet, that there were reports that the meeting with the speaker was supposed to happen at 3 o'clock. So any idea if that meeting has already taken place of all these MPs with the speaker?
I'm not very sure if the defecting lot has met the speaker. I do know that Arvind Sawant and Anil Desai, the two who've so far decided not to shift and have said that they remain allied to Mr. Uddhav Thackeray. They had gone and met the speaker. They've submitted a letter which is pretty much on the same lines as the letter that was submitted by the Mamta faction of the Trinamool, by Shagarika Ghosh and Mr. Kirti Azad to the speaker, basically informing the speaker of what the constitution position is under the 10th schedule, and to discourage anything that goes in violation of the 10th schedule. I'm not very confident of whether the speaker would discourage something of that sort, given what we've seen over the last 12 years. But coming back to the point of, the larger picture of what this essentially does is it gives the government more numbers. So you're essentially manufacturing a 2/3 majority without actually having it and without the mandate for it. So that's in the immediate run. Whether they are able to also fulfill the shortfall of those 34, if I'm including the 20 from Trinamool, and let's say as of now 6 from the Shiv Sena UBT, because the Nashik MP that you mentioned, Mr. Rajabhav Vaje, was eventually at the press conference that Sanjay Raut was addressing, and he said that he's not going anywhere as of now. So I'm still not counting him as part of the bloc that is defecting. So let's stick to the figure of 6. If that is the figure, the government, the NDA, goes to about 324, which is still 36 shy of that 2/3 mark. But that, I'm told, and I think we published a story the other day, where I've given the breakup of where they expect those 34 to come from. So that those numbers in the Rajya Sabha as well as numbers in the Lok Sabha have pretty much been worked out, is what I have been given to understand from sources in the government, and that's the immediate picture. The larger picture, of course, is you have a party in power which wants no opposition, which does not want anyone else to share the political landscape with them, unless and until they are either with the party or allied with the party, part of the BJP or part of the NDA. That is where this is essentially heading. And they are brazen about using any means available. So one can, find fault with Uddhav Thackeray, how he ran his party, or with Mamta Banerjee. One can, find n number of justifications for what led to this situation. But at the end of the day, it is a betrayal of the mandate. Not, one can say that the mandate was for this government, but on these particular constituencies, the mandate was not for this government or this particular formation. Even in the case of the Shiv Sena, if you look at these 6 or 7 MPs who are now suspect of moving, at least on 4 constituencies, they defeated a Shiv Sena rival. So if the people wanted the Shiv Sena of Mr. Eknath Shinde, they would have voted for them. That was not the case. So, and I think Yogesh would be able to tell us better.
Yes.
I also suspect that while this may immediately give a lot of, the numbers to the NDA, it may also give Mr. Shinde a certain elevated position within the Mahayuti in Maharashtra. But it will also, in say 2029 perhaps, give rise to problems within the Mahayuti. Because if these reports are to be believed, and Mr. Sanjay Dina Patil is moving to Mr. Eknath Shinde, now that is a constituency that largely the BJP would want to keep with itself. Is it going to give away that constituency to the Shiv Sena just because Mr. Sanjay Dina Patil has, shifted?
Yeah.
In the case of the other gentleman from Osmanabad, Mr. Om Nimbalkar, who we are being told his father's, the murder case of his, the case of his father's murder is awaiting a judgment on the 20th of this month. Some are speculating, Mr. Sanjay Raut is on record saying that the judgment was delayed to ensure that Mr. Nimbalkar switches. Now, in that case, one of the prime accused is Mr. Padam Singh Patil, who is, from the NCP of the late Ajit Pawar, not the Sharad Pawar faction, and not just from the NCP of Mr. Ajit Pawar, but he's also family to Sunetra Pawar, the brother sister. Now, if the trade-off with Mr. Nimbalkar is that these accused are going to be sentenced, it means you're sending off Mr. Padam Singh Patil with a conviction. In that case, how is that going to play out with the NCP within the Mahayuti? Right. So there are also those issues that one will have to look at, but unfortunately it's not something that in the immediate run is going to come up for any kind of dissection.
Right. Yogesh, you were also raising your hand. In fact, I was coming to you
Yes, I
now.
was I was raising my hand because I believe that Puneet has made a very wonderful point there. This idea of trying to manufacture a majority willy nilly, some or the other way through some kind of machination, may be called. I get. I think I wish had a penny for every time somebody used the word master stroke. By now I would be a multimillionaire. But I'm just saying that this whole thing of it's actually, people do not realize that yes, what they're celebrating, at least some sections of the media are celebrating, the Godi media are celebrating as master stroke, is actually detrimental to the whole idea of what electoral politics means for India and democracy means for us as a people. And it actually sort of runs aground the very principles, the constitutional principles in which this federal structure holds together. So, what does this mean in terms of India and its future is very, very scary to think, because all those talks of India's balkanization, the idea of states feeling that they are not finding representation, all those ideas will now start coming to the fore. I am just wondering as to how long this kind of thing will be allowed to go on happening, because there is clearly, it is not like people are fools. ये public है, ये सब जानती है, so they know that the kind of game that is being played, and how for almost 80 years that this kind of game has been hatched and it's being played. And it is also true, I'm never going to say that many of these templates of how these machinations are put into place have come from the Congress era, and these people are just much more efficient copycats and are able to do this much more ruthlessly. But I'm just saying that in the end, the BJP or the Eknath Shinde faction, or some people who support them may say that it's a win for them. But in the end, we have all lost here. And I really feel it's a very sad day for India for this to happen. Just imagine if this is used to sort of push through with the bill looking at how representation changes in this country. If it is going to be made completely on the basis of population, then what does this do to the South? What does it do to the some of our northeastern states? And what does that mean geostrategically? What it means geopolitically for us as a nation, given where we are located, is something that
Absolutely.
I feel very saddened that the
Right.
people who are absolutely no idea of the larger picture are running the show and looking at these things as this great Chanakya Niti. So I'm just saying that this is a very, very scary thought.
In fact, just one more question to you, Yogesh, and then I'll take the concluding comments from Puneet. What are the options now for Uddhav? Now, Arvind Sawant, I think, has come out and spoken. Bharani, if you're there backstage, can we put out that ANI tweet and what exactly he said? Bharani, are you there? Can we have that tweet of Arvind Sawant, where I think he just met the no. Okay, so we'll have it ready in a while. But what my question to you, Yogesh, is that what are the options now for? Yeah, this was a tweet I was talking about. Shiv Sena UBT MP Anil Desai says if the Supreme Court had given a judgment on our SLP, that is a special need petition, all these issues would not have arisen. This is unfortunate. On Shiv Sena UBT MP Arvind Sawant writes a letter to Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. He says these points are in the Constitution, these points are in the Representation of the People's Act, and they provide security to all the political parties. We expect the Election Commission and the Supreme Court to take suo moto action if this is violated. Now, he still is very hopeful of the Supreme Court. He still is very hopeful of the Election Commission. What are the options now with Uddhav Thackeray, Yogesh?
I feel, since there is already such a lot of anger in the people, both, like, in terms of the complete misgovernance, the complete, sort of failure in terms of, um, rising prices, cost of living, in terms of unemployment, in terms of infrastructure, projects being complete disasters, like the one we saw at the Mrinal Gore flyover in Mumbai recently. So, there is already the idea is for this is the party which came into being with being through guerrilla warfare, as it were. So they have to go back to the streets. They have to understand that they are no Congress. They will have to go back to sort of charging their infantry and going back to the streets and fighting the battle there, because that is going to help them in 2029, as Puneet was pointing out just now, that in so many places it is the Eknath Shinde faction candidate that they have beaten these people and they're come into power. If they are going to play this kind of a dirty game, it means that people's votes have been taken for granted. There is a reason why people did not vote for vote to sit in the rickshaw bound for Thane from Mumbai. So there was a reason why they did that. But if they're being sort of fettered and handcuffed and pushed into the same auto rickshaw, then I think people are going to be angry. And it is for the Uddhav Thackeray faction to get their leadership to hit the ground and create that kind of a momentum to make them realize. And they have that kind of a, if there is still an emotional cord that Uddhav Thackeray, because he's seen as a victim, he's seen as someone who was sort of stabbed in the back, because people have seen that during COVID, the way he managed governance, people have seen that. So I mean, I'm just saying that and that there is a lot of regard for Bal Thackeray even now. Though personally, I feel that Bal Thackeray and this handshake with the Hindutva project actually led the whole Marathi Manus movement aground, and it has been one of his biggest mistakes, and that is what the Uddhav Thackeray sadly is having to pay for. But I feel that it is something that they can still do, and that could be the only way ahead for them, because I don't see this whole idea of Mr. Sawant going to meet the speaker and giving this letter like the TMC did. We all know how the speaker, when he wants, he can even not allow Rahul Gandhi to speak and get his mic muted every time he raises some kind of uncomfortable question. So we know how that plays out. As far as the judiciary also is concerned, I just feel that in the past there have been so many instances that the Supreme Court has dilly-dallied or delayed us taking a firm stand, and in the instances when it has taken a stand, it has not taken it to its full logical conclusion and given a ruling in their favor. So in all these instances, it seems like the judiciary is also not really doing its job like it should. So there is little hope but to go to the people and show them that that you may have the money power and you may have the judges in your pocket and all that, but when it comes to the Marathi Manus on the street, they are still with the Shiv Sena. And I think if the Shiv Sena uses the same kind of anger that people have over the real governance issues, then they will have tapped into a force which can help them. Needu?
All right. Puneet, I'll come for the concluding comments. So, what can we now expect? Now, the TMC drama also, it just went on and on. People are still talking about it. And what is really happening, nobody knows. And here we have another chapter added to the same kind of a script which is playing out. And also that question on Om Prakash Rajbhar, what he has said. Are we to believe that Akhilesh could be the next victim of this Operation Tiger, sort of an operation, maybe some other name in UP?
Well, see, Neelu, as far as your question on Mr. Rajbhar's tweet is concerned, I don't really take anything that Om Prakash Rajbhar says very seriously. But having said that, seeing what has happened to the Trinamool, to the Shiv Sena, and on numerous occasions in the past in different states with different parties that are not aligned with the BJP, we have to also understand that I would agree that as of now, the situation is such that any party that is not aligned with the BJP, with the NDA, is up for the same kind of things that we've seen happen to the Trinamool, to the Shiv Sena UBT, and to the Congress in different states. So that is something that one will not discount immediately. But yes, what Mr. Rajbhar is saying is completely different. He is saying that it is Mr. Ram Gopal Yadav who's gone and given a list to Mr. Amit Shah of MLAs and MPs who are up for sale, who the BJP can directly contact and ask them to defect. So that I do not put any stock to. Now that aside, your other part of what next in this saga, there are I think we've reached a stage where asking what next in something like this, and I'm sorry to if this sounds very defeatist, but it's become pointless, because we've seen this happen over and over and over again with remedies available in the Constitution which are not applied in any functional, proper, constitutional, ethical democracy. You would have had the presiding officer of the Lok Sabha, of the Rajya Sabha, the assemblies of the states act as the first check, to prevent this kind of activity. Unfortunately, what we've seen is each of these presiding officers have repeatedly become party to what I would call a robocracy, robbing of the daylight robbery of democracy. So that option, I don't think, is available to the opposition anymore. If you're expecting that Mr. Om Birla or Mr. C.P. Radhakrishnan or the Speaker in the Maharashtra Assembly is suddenly going to develop a conscience and is going to rule according to the Constitution on these petitions that the Mamta Banerjee faction or the Uddhav faction are filing with them, forget it. It's not going to happen. So what is the second option available to them? It is to go to the courts. There again, it's unfortunate that the courts have not done their job. You see, in this Shiv Sena UBT, the current lot of what is happening, it's a hilarious situation and tragic at the same time, because in the Supreme Court, the case on the split is still pending. It is still pending. Now, while one split is still pending, you have another. So these guys who are choosing to defect tomorrow, if the Supreme Court, if at all there is a regime change, and the Supreme Court then rules in favor of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, what happens to to all of these parties who've gone in the split 1 and split 2?
Absolutely.
So the courts need to be doing their job instead of, willingly or unwillingly, I wouldn't want to comment on that, but becoming party to this kind of activity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thirdly, three more points I'll make and I'll wrap up. Thirdly, the opposition needs to take to the streets. I'm not saying it's going to make any difference to the results because of how the Election Commission conducts the elections now, but it needs to be visible on the streets fighting this kind of politics. You cannot have, for all said and done, you may find 20 problems with how Mamta Banerjee ran the Trinamool Congress and the government in Bengal. But when it came to, the split, she was visible on the road every day, on the streets every day. She was here attending the India Alliance meeting. She was attending. She went to the court the other day in Calcutta. She was here, visible, putting up a fight in whatever way. It may not get her the rewards that the relief that she's seeking, but she was visible. I haven't seen, since this whole drama unfold, I haven't yet seen Mr. Uddhav Thackeray anyway. Yes, Mr. Sanjay Raut is speaking, but this is a party, as Mr. Sanjay Raut keeps reminding all of us, and these people who are defecting. It's a party of the Thackeray's. It's a party of Uddhav Thackeray. That is the name of the party, SS, Shiv Sena, UBT. So that UBT needs to be visible. He can't be sitting, at Matoshri and asking Mr. Sanjay Raut to be making calls.
Yeah.
So the opposition collectively needs to take to the streets and protest in the strongest possible way this kind of politics. Fourthly, the media needs to, we keep saying this, of course, it's not going to have any difference, but, per force of habit, once saying this, that the media needs to stop passing all of this off as masterstroke, stop
Absolutely.
glorifying this kind of politics. It needs to, start calling it out for what it is. And finally, the people also, because it's, at the end of the day, it is their mandate that is being stolen. The people need to realize that this is not what they had voted for. Even if tomorrow the government comes around and says that, see, I recall on the 18th of April, the Prime Minister addressed the country after the Constitution 131st Amendment was negated in Parliament. And Mr. Modi said that, any obstacle that will come in the way of women's reservation, I'm going to remove. So essentially, the political justification for whatever has happened over the last 2 weeks was there on that 18th April speech. This is how they are going to spin it, that it is for the larger cause. It is because, we want women's reservation, we want to take the country forward. But I'm sorry, that is not the case. And the people need to see it for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll have to end it here. But yes, a lot of developments could happen on this Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena split. We'll have to keep a close watch on what all is going to happen. We'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Yogesh, Pawar, Puneet. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.